Good morning, everyone. This is Relaxing Painting. I'm Nichole. And we are doing a flip, apparently. I'm not doing 8 flips for you. You get that one. That's all. I don't like you enough for 8 flips. How do we know I am who I say I am? I guess you don't, but it doesn't matter because all I'm doing is painting dungeon tiles. And you don't need proof of identity. Charles is sitting here next to Flipper. I'm trying to do an introduction, you know. This is Relaxing Painting, where we just chill out, relax, and play some music while we paint tile. In this case, dungeon tiles, sometimes figures, miniature figures. I mean, I think there's like ground beef in the freezer. That sort of counts, right? This tile is nameless. And what we do is we listen to music and paint miniatures, tiles, things like that. In this case, we'll be doing dungeon tiles. I'm going to try and get through the detail stones on all of these tiles that I base coated last time. And then we're gonna have to do some details like the runes. There's 3 of these, and I need to put some wood on the door frames, for example. So there's a couple detail parts that I'll be needing to do. So with that in mind, I'm actually going to collect the ones that have detail parts, be it runes or... yeah, I know. It's shocking. Be it runes, doors, whatever. And I'm gonna paint those first. I think it's just these 4, because I did the other rune already, and 2 of the doors. Yeah. Praise log. And this brazier will be a detail piece as well. So we'll get to that when we get to it. I have to make the brazier metallic. So, yeah. What we're gonna do is be doing detail bricks, and detail bricks, I mean like this. It's just a little splash of color that adds some visual interest to it before it gets washed. And this is a blue version, but you can see the wash really tones down the piece and makes it a little more dungeony. So that's where we're headed today. And if I get through all that, we'll do a washing and finish up this series of dungeon tiles. There's a few more things, odds and ends, scatter pieces, things like that need to be primed and painted, but we'll see if we get to that. So we're going to start off today by mixing up this paint that we'll be using for the highlight bricks. So we might have a little rave here. The vibrator thingy. for mixing the paint always makes funny effect. Okay, here we go. Already getting paint on myself, that's a good sign. And this color is very bright for sort of the expectation of stone, but that's kind of what we want because we're toning everything down with a wash later. It actually mellows it out quite a bit. So we're just painting single rocks like this for a little while here this morning. And we're choosing these rocks pretty much randomly. You don't really want full consistency from piece to piece, otherwise that would look kind of weird. Make Fire Emblem tiles and sell bootleg Fire Emblem TTRPG games. And just basically a Fire Emblem. Yeah. I'm guessing you're playing the new Fire Emblem. Based on this line of questioning. No, you're waiting for a sale. You're just seeing it a lot online. I need to beat Xenoblade 3 and it takes like 100 hours, but Medicinal Shy Guy is playing the new Fire Emblem. How is it compared to Three Houses? Yeah, his biggest mistake is not having a girl that looks like a personified Pepsi can. That was my biggest complaint with the game. I'm glad they listened to me. Here in the tutorial, but Three Houses will be hard to beat. Yeah, I get that. Did it release today or like just the other day, right? If I remember, it came out just recently. Friday or something. One of those games where I might pick it up if I'm going on like a trip or something where I know I'm gonna just need a portable game to play. It's sort of You got it. And all the DLC on Saturday. I'm guessing there's like a deal right now to get the full pack or something that they're selling. They usually do some sort of not a deal I meant, but like a collector pack. You know what I mean? Like where it's like you pre-buy the DLC kinda. They do that with like Destiny and stuff. The deal is you give Nintendo money and they punch you in the gut and spit on you and walk away. Yeah, I mean, I've done that before with some games. Usually it works out to where it's actually a little cheaper if you buy all together like that than if you wait, but you are then committed. They didn't even wait for you to catch the spit and say thank you, Daddy, before they walked away. I mean, that's Nintendo, I guess, right? The only thing about Three Houses that kind of put me off was how deeply awkward the main character was. Just like posture-wise. Like, I get the silent protagonist thing, that doesn't bother me. But like, the way they sort of just like stood around with like, and their eyes were like way too open. Your biggest problem is there are clearly 4 houses. Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess so. That was delivered coffee. $5 in the DLC, yeah. See, that's the problem, why there's only certain games I'll pre-buy the DLC for, because I tend to be like, this is the one game I'm playing right now for an extended period kind of person. And if I if I bought the Three Houses DLC, I think I played it long enough to do the first DLC. My new favorite Fragile Male guy is the guy complaining that women are invading the male space of hot air ballooning. I'm going to assume it's satire, but it is impossible to tell. Hot air ballooning is definitely not where I expected that to come from next. But yeah, I was stop elevating yourselves with hates. So if I had bought the five houses DLC, I might have played the first DLC, but I feel like I haven't gone back to the game anytime recently, so I never would have played like all of them. But then on the other hand, there are some games where I'm like, yes, I'm definitely going to play all the DLC of this, so it's worthwhile. I just have to be very conscious of which ones I'm doing that with. Have a little coffee. You should have a beer sandwich. Beer sandwich is something I just made up. You take a slice of bread, shove the whole thing in your mouth, chew it up enough to make room, chug a whole beer as fast as you can, and then shovel another slice of bread down your mouth. And just do it as quickly as possible, so it forms a beer sandwich in your stomach. I just invented it, and I feel like it would cause a lot of problems for the person involved. First you eat a piece of bread with lettuce and tomato, chug a beer, then eat a piece of bread with burger, bacon, and condiment. Yeah. Well, that's like... That's the fancy version of a beer sandwich. As long as it has the two bread slices with a beer in the middle, it's technically a bread sandwich, but you can... The first sounds terrible, the second and third sounds great. Yeah. As long as you, like, you can add or subtract anything you want, you know, on your beer sandwich, as long as there's bread, beer, bread. Is like the core, the heart of the meal. The 3V is bread, beer, bread. So I think, yeah, that's a solid lunch, a beer sandwich. And often restaurants will serve, like fancier restaurants, at least like not fast food, will serve the burger like open, so you can put like stuff on it, and all you do is not put it together. And you eat the top, drink your beer, eat the bottom. Voila, beer sandwich. This is Battle Creek. We're wanting to have plans for what to do if one of our factory workers is disgruntled with a gun. Fancy is unavailable. I mean, fair. I'm just saying, like, you can. There are places where it comes prepared for a beer sandwich. Other places you have to disassemble the bread yourself, the sandwich yourself after it's been made. Or if you bring one from home, you can prepare it yourself so it's ready to go. But because of how simple a beer sandwich is, where it's bread, beer, bread at its core, that means you could even take like a hot dog and you could do half a bun, beer, hot dog bun, and that's a beer sandwich. This isn't downtown Grand Rapids where you have $30 sandwiches served in a shot with a shot glass of soup, a pretend cocktail, plastic sword, all for the low price of $7. Yeah, that's kind of how it's become downtown. That's definitely true. You want some fancy hot dogs now? Well, that's up to you. I just do the ideas. We have a chili dog place that manages to not sell chili dogs. That's scary. Do they sell other things? And it's like it's ostensibly a chili dog place, like it's called like Chili Dogs or something. And like people go there and go, these chili dogs are disgusting. I'll take the chicken sandwich or whatever. Because it takes a lot of work to mess up a chili dog. It's one of those places where it's like we're selling hot dogs, but as like a fancy thing. Yeah, that like hot dogs inherently can't be fancy. That's the beauty of a hot dog. Like you can put a fancy thing on top of a hot dog for sure. Like that's a thing. But like it doesn't make the hot dog fancy. It makes the thing you put on it not fancy. It makes it a hot dog. So like don't pretend to be something you're not, you know. Hot dog place. Like that's the core function of a hot dog, is to do that to you. Like, you know what you're getting into when you eat a hot dog. Like, don't get me wrong, you can make a good hot dog or a bad hot dog. Like, there's like tiers of hot dog. For sure. But at its core, it's a hot dog. You know, it's sort of like there's the immutable truth of it's just a hot dog in the end. And if you can't serve it pretentiously. Yeah, exactly. It's always making you poop like you ate hot dogs because you ate hot dogs. I mean, there's a hot dog for like this is a gross gas station hot dog that I am drunk and I'm gonna eat it sort of hot dogs. And you can get a hot dog at some pretentious place that puts truffles on it. But in the end, it's still a hot dog and it comes out the same way. I'm trying to go through the sort of specialty pieces right now, like the windows and stuff, before I get into the standard pieces. Now, I will argue that since the end result is the same, it's worth getting an amazing hot dog, because you're paying the same price in the end. But an amazing hot dog is usually not one that's like all dressed up. It's just a really well prepared one. And when you're at the hot dog place, and whether it be a restaurant or a cart or what, everyone else who's there, you're all like looking at each other like, we all know what we're in for later. Think this is the last of our sort of weird ones. These like windows, arrow slits, things like that. And then we're gonna move into like standard walls, curved corners, things like all those sorts of pieces. Once I get through getting all the highlight bricks, I'll assess what time it is, but I'll probably get the door frames painted in at least before I take my break. And then the one that's gonna take some time is painting the sigils, the fire runes, as it were. So we're gonna keep plugging away at this and see what time it is when I'm done with all of the highlight bricks. Hey, I'm gonna do this big one next, because that'll take a little bit. And then I'll probably do these roundy ones. I like to sort of go one shape at a time, I guess. So that's what we'll do. That's it. Guy gets in the phone queue just as I exit the room to use the bathroom. Yeah, that happens. You need to plan another week-long vacation. Yeah, you should definitely do that. This big tile always takes a while, just because there's so much to cover. I'm trying not to think of it like, okay, well, I finished one tile, but rather like I finished 4 tiles or something when I do it, because it's so large. Okay. Now I'll move on to the small rounds after coffee. There we go. Hydrate. Stretch. Thank you for the point. Not working for all year at a time breaks, yeah. It's like on a year, off a year, or something like that. That would be good, right? to upgrade your processor. What do you have now? Yeah, you should upgrade your processor. Why not? Well, whose fault is that? You get a keyboard with it? I'm sure it's a very high quality keyboard. Yeah, does it light up with sexy gay colors? That's the key to a good keyboard. As we know, RGB makes everything more gay and therefore more better. Yeah, it's a keyboard that only works with one program. Is it mechanical? What's the key type? That only works with the program? Is it a regular keyboard? They aren't advertising the switches, so probably not good. Oh yeah, probably not. It's not a regular keyboard, so okay. It's like one of those yeah, specialist things for like video editing and stuff. It has a trans button. I'm guessing for transfer or transparent. Transition. Oh, okay. There you go. So it's at least you're gonna use it to transition to people. You have to plug it into them though, and you said it only works with that program. people operate under this program. That's why the chance. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's good to know. Yeah, now you just need the USB-C ports. That's what Musk is killing all those animals for no reason for, right? To get those. Hope so. But, you know, that's what every company tries to do now, is get you in the ecosystem. Apple did it, and then everyone else is like, oh, Apple made a lot of money by getting people into their ecosystem by providing all the things. We better copy that. And it's really annoying. Especially when it's like your ecosystem sucks. Only $22,000 for the full set. Well, that's a steal. What I don't get at the like get us into the ecosystem thing is like you have like one product and it sucks. Like how it's sort of the same thing with like EA and Ubisoft's game launchers, which no one wanted to use and only used for the one game and stuff. It's like, we're not in your ecosystem. It's honestly what Epic Games does with their free games thing. They're just trying to entice you to come use their system. Because if you play games on our system that we gave you for free, then you might buy games on our system because you're now invested in our system somehow. The premium version of the software has a wicked voice isolator. Well, that's pretty cool. Doing the, yeah. Also, it makes me have skin in the game. Now I can edit shorts because I spent money to make it easier. Exactly, like doing the show for a few years. Investment or something, right? Like, one thing we've been sort of talking, like, very loosely about, this isn't happening anytime soon, is sort of an idea of, instead of doing a painting stream like this, we do a little bit like a once a week, more edited down version for YouTube. Where there's like a, you know, a specific thing being painted, be it a troll or whatever. Buying a laptop was also an expense. The 30-minute BRB scene. Yeah, something like that. So, where it's just like, hey, we're painting a troll today. Like, we would record it and I would do a voiceover recording for it afterwards. You know, and we edit out all the parts where nothing's really happening and it's just showing the details and stuff. So I don't know, it's something we've been talking about, but it would probably end up replacing this if we did it, but it would be much more YouTube friendly, because for some reason, but we're always in. Yeah, I'm not reading it out loud, that's all. What was I saying? For some reason, the like 4-hour slow painting thing and chatting while listening to music is not very YouTube friendly. I don't get it. No, our playlist is not 4 hours long. The problem with adding music is each song you add is another song that can be falsely copyright claimed. So you have to be very intentional with what music we add to anything we put online. Like everything we play here, we have the rights to use. But if we just add songs willy-nilly, even if they're like copyright free or we have the rights to them, doesn't mean they're not gonna get flagged and cause issues with our channel. So adding music's a thing we can do, but it's something we need to be conscientious of. We actually had to remove songs in our playlist that regularly got flagged by the automated music catching system. Like, they got caught every single time, even though they're songs we have the rights to use. They were claimed as something else. So it's a dumb system, but it's the one we have to use. Alright, time to dig through the corners here. These always take a while because they're 2 walls. Couldn't Anakin trade a droid for his mom? Assassin cheaper than maintaining a slave in the Star Wars universe. Sort of. Droids aren't particularly, droids are actually fairly expensive to maintain relative to a person who you can just feed. They actually discuss that in Andor. Spoilers for Andor if you haven't watched it. When they're in the prison, they actually say, like, why don't droids do this, or why is this not automated? And they talk about how it's cheaper to feed them and use their prison labor than it is to maintain machinery and a droid workforce to doing it. Because they can just feed them like goop through a tube. So they actually do talk about that. So they explain by saying that's just how it is, like when horror movies say something or something's bad. I mean, there's not really a point of reference for how expensive is a droid, other than, like, we see Uncle Owen buying droids from Jawas, but they're generally, like, reclaimed scrap droids rather than, like, a high-end specific production droid, right? So, I mean, realistically, there's no way to, like, we just have to take them at their word for how expensive a droid is to create and maintain. So, yes, Anakin builds C-3PO over time, slowly with parts he sort of accumulates, but it might be something where it is cheaper for Watto, who does not have the infrastructure to support a droid by replacement parts. Who knows how much energy they drain, you know, when they charge, I'm guessing. You know. So, as horrible as it is, it's probably is cheaper. But also, it's a made-up fantasy world. They can do what they want. In terms of explaining things, we have to take them at their word for whatever it is. But realistically, the only times we see astromech droids, they're either basically military droids, be it Rebellion, Empire, whatever, or scrapped military droids, you know, like you get with the Jawas or Chomper in Rebels. They're like they're from like crashed military vehicles, basically, that have been sort of fixed up. Hey. Oh, thank you. Welcome to the stream. We're doing a painting stream and just chatting. So we're making dungeon tiles. This is a more finished one. This is an in-process one. And these are just for, playing tabletop games with and all that. So what we're doing right now is going through and painting highlight bricks. Yes, everything's 3D printed on... We have some printers behind me. They're not currently running because we don't have anything we need right this second. But yeah, we 3D printed all of them ourselves. So everything here is made from the ground up right here. So, except for the paint, I guess. We bought the paint. We didn't grind our own pigment. So, oh, yes. Yeah, we like to try and check out the other YouTube channels that are, in the same vein as ours and stuff. See what cool stuff everyone else is doing. So, thanks for following us back and all of that. We really appreciate that. We like to, try and stay interconnected with the whole community. I know there's a lot of really cool stuff that people make. So I think, it's cool to be able to share and be aware of everyone else who's out there doing neat stuff. Like, not everyone's doing dungeon tiles, but there's some people who do like amazing mini painting or all sorts of stuff. So we try and find people like you, just to share and grow together. Trying to the most annoying part of these is trying to match the bricks on the other side. I put little dots on them to mark because I want to make the bricks match. I don't think you would generally actually notice, honestly, in gameplay if the bricks match on the backside, but I like to try and make sure they do. The nice thing with these tiles that we're assembling is they're also, not only are they 3D printed, we also magnetize them. You stream on Twitch, but a bit different concept. You call it paint, play, and give away. You'll have the FPS shooter Valorant. It has some different agents you can play. And I 3D print a new agent every week. Paint them, play them, and give it away at the end of the stream. That's really cool. I like that concept. Well, anyone who is watching my stream now, why don't you go over to Old Brogger's channel and give them a follow and all that. Do some cross-promotional stuff here. I haven't personally played Valorant myself. I'm not the biggest FPS person, but I think it has a very cool style. So that sounds really neat. Yeah, of course. We all have to support each other in this hobby. So do you do resin printing if they're figures, character figures then? Or do you? These are all FDM printed. We have a resin printer as well. That's cool. What printer do you have? I'm not I'm only tangentially 3D printing. My wife's the big 3D printer in the group. But I've learned through her what all the things. Oh, Elgoo, nice. A Mars and a Saturn. That's cool. Elgoo is a really good brand, from what I understand. Is it? Or is it Elgoo? I don't know. I don't actually. I only ever read them. I never say them out loud, I realized. We have a Frozen with the PH of some sort. But I think our wash and curing station are Elgoo, actually. I like the giveaway stuff that you do. That's something I would like to be able to do that more. Let me pull up your Instagram here. Those are looking really cool. So you printed and painted those? Well, I like the dinosaur. Aw, owl bear family. Those are really cool. I like that. We have a little carousel like here. It's on social media stuff right now. Some stuff that we've painted. You get from Loot Studios. Nice. Yeah, we kind of source from wherever. Our resin printer will be up and running. We got it just recently. We've been doing FDM, doing dungeon tiles mostly. Whenever Lexi has several days where no one will bother her, so she can get it running. Is when it will be up and running. Yeah, probably. No, it'll be up and running soon. One thing we do with these dungeon tiles, you just got a K40. Oh man, I really wanted a laser cutter. One thing we do with these is they're magnetized, so they hold together. That way, we do all that by hand to a certain degree. Yeah, laser cutter is really cool. That's something that's been on. Yeah, I know. So all of these are magnetized, or going to be magnetized. We found that they hold together better, and they're way better than clips. When we looked at other dungeon tiles people make, a lot of them are clip based, and they have things like this, but you make your dungeon tiles and buildings from XPS foams and balsa wood. Yeah, I've seen those. Those are really cool too. I've seen the foam and balsa wood construction. I haven't seen your specific ones, I don't think. But that's a really neat way to make them, I think. The thing we like with the magnets is just quickly getting my marks on the back. Alright. The thing we like with the magnets is that there are some tiles are magnetized, but they're only magnetized on the bottom, and you have to have them on like a metal tray of some sort. Whereas these are magnetized where they will stick to a metal tray like the other ones, but they'll also just hold to each other. Like that. But they're easy to pull and put apart. So we kind of focused on usability with them. But yeah, you do it in XPS foam and balsa wood. Do you do? Are they mostly just like floor tile style, or do you do walls as well? Yeah, our pieces that we've done are on a little carousel here underneath me. It's at least some of the pieces we've done. Yeah. There's a lot, yeah, exactly. There's a lot of, like, for resin printing, we've put in some stuff to make sure it's safe, because, you know, resin printers are pretty good at containing the fumes, but it's also something we don't want to breathe regularly. Things like that. And laser cutters are very similar, and they, like, you want to do some stuff to make it safe. Yeah, so it might be 500 for the cutter, but it's extra for everything that goes with it to make it safe. And we'd have to find the room for it. But on the other hand, they're super cool. You bully yourself into getting the expensive product, and then you spend that much and just making it up to par. Yeah. Well, it's like that. I don't know how well you know the FDM world and printing, but, you know, a lot of people say, you know, you get the Ender 3 as your starter, and it's pretty cheap, and you buy it, and then they're like, okay, now that you bought this cheap printer, your laser was bent and you had to take it all apart, rebuild it, and I hope only 1 out of 10 that works out of the box. Dang. That's pretty crazy. But soldering equipment ended up spending double the budget. Yeah. You need a room where it can smell, even with good ventilation. It smells of campfire. Yeah, because the laser. Yeah. And I do like campfire smell, but you need to ventilate it. But yeah, like the go-to FDM printer, everyone says this is the best starter printer. You spend like only a little bit on it, but then they're like, if you want it to work, you have to replace basically all the parts in it. And you go, well, why didn't I just buy a better printer for the same price as all the replacement parts plus the printer? But Yeah, the advantage is it's very modifiable. Oh wow, hi Dr. Pumpkins. Thank you for the raid. welcome to our painting stream. We're working on dungeon tiles. It's not super excitable. Your wife thought you were smoking and again in your office after you test it because of the the laser smoke. We're talking about laser cutters. Oh, yeah, they named tiles. So we have this tile is named Charles. Yeah. And this tile is named Flipper. So we have some named tiles that were named by our fans. Yeah. So what I'm doing here for everyone who's just joining us is these are tiles we 3D print, and we have some printers behind me here that aren't currently running because they make some noise. We 3D print them like so. I prime them with an airbrush. We base coat them, which is where this one's at. It just has a base coat. After being primed, we put on highlight bricks like this. This is what I'm doing right now, is putting on highlight bricks randomly. You didn't think anyone could be dumb enough to use the name feature on a tile, but didn't understand how dumb you are. That's right. These tiles get magnetized, so they hold together for easy play. And then at the end we wash them. So this is done in blue actually, so it's a little darker, but it gives you sort of an idea of a more moody tone of a dungeon. We also will do some special stuff like these are some poison pools I did the other day. Just using paint and a pour resin in a gray and a blue. And we did these in sort of green, so they're goo or poison. But we'll do them in, we have one in red, so it's like a blood pool. I'll make you a pink goo pool eventually. And we've done like necrotic purple as well for D&D. But these are really nice because they have this sort of... Yeah, the purple one's really cool actually. I think it's stored away right now. At the same time I did this, it's a little vat of poison as a scatter piece for a dungeon. But I did a very similar treatment on it. So it gets this nice glossy look because of the pour resin we do. So, and you can see some of our other work just below me here. The community poison cauldron. I think the OGL changes have been not great, but yeah, there's a lot to dig into at the OGL changes. I think they're shooting themselves in the foot a lot. Yeah, community hot pot evil variant. It's a big cauldron of poison. I think with the OGL they've been shooting themselves in the foot a lot, and I think they're coming. I don't know. it's hard to say where they're coming from. You know, obviously they're trying to protect their properties more, but their rollout of it and everything has been very, very bad, and I think they're eroding a lot of trust with it. Trust that's probably not easily returned. And however, I do think that some of the online discourse has been a little toxic about it, which I get people are upset and everything. And I think that people should pressure them into doing better. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm sort of with you, Albrager. So, on the one hand, I think they're generally bad changes. And I think they're making a lot of the changes to protect themselves from larger companies taking advantage of them. So, like, the way they worded some things, and I haven't read the 1.2 fully yet, so I can't speak fully on the most recent OGL post. I just haven't had time to dig through it personally yet, and I don't necessarily trust everyone's interpretation of it. Because I feel like there's a surprising amount of people online who just are using it as a wedge because they don't like that D&D is popular, and they want whatever system they're playing to be popular instead. And they're just trying to use it to drive a wedge in the community, but I think that it's a wedge that is actually a bad thing that they're doing as a company. And, you know, I try to not trust any company to do the right thing ever. I find that always sets you up for failure. But, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of people that are going a little too hardcore on the reaction to it when nothing's even set in stone yet. And it's like, yeah, I might drop D&D if they put out a really bad OGL that hurts me as a creator, hurts the community at large, and she broke the stove. Okay, well, good luck with that. I don't think I've fixed a stove before, but yeah, that sounds exciting. If it's make sure to turn off the electrics. I don't want you getting shocked. And good luck. But yeah, I think OGL it's caused a lot of undue strife because it's been handled very poorly. And I think there's a lot of people trying to take advantage of it to push their own, biases. So I'd say overall, not good. Across the board. It has made us, we'd been talking about designing a role-playing system that's a little more focused towards thank you for the hydrate. We've been talking about making a bespoke role-playing system that's a little designed more for what we do, that it being streaming a game. If you're one of our raiders and haven't seen, we do a D&D game Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern here on Twitch. It's also on YouTube and everything, if you look for Dice and Dungeons. There's my plug. But we've been talking about designing a system that's a little more focused on the sort of gameplay we do on the show, rather than just using D&D for it. And the OGL stuff, if you don't know, OGL's open game license, and it's sort of the way that D&D has grown over the years by making the basic rule set more accessible. And there's recently been some leaks and community fervor over them planning to redo the open game license, and it's caused a lot of uncertainty among the community because people are emotionally and literally invested in Dungeons and Dragons, and it's made a lot of people very uneasy, rightfully so. So that's what I've been chatting about, if just to fill people in, I guess. I think that, so we've been talking about maybe accelerating our like independent game system that's a little more narratively driven and a little smoother for play style, because you know, when you're some of the issues with streaming D&D, as long as you keep suggestion. Oh, she just popped a fuse? That's good, I guess. I mean, it's not good, but it's better than it could have been. I was just explaining what the OGL is in case people didn't know. But yeah, like, I grew up playing D&D. I love D&D. I like 5th edition a lot more than Pathfinder / 3rd edition, you know, because that's just my personal tastes. I like that it's less technical and lets you be more narrative with your gameplay. But we've been talking and working loosely on designing a system that's better suited specifically for yeah, I know you love suggestion, who designed specifically to make a better show. Oh, you're in Denmark. That's cool. 5:40 p.m. Yeah. Well, that's cool. We have someone watching in Denmark. You know, I like that. Yeah, so we've been working a little bit and might accelerate our work on it to create a game system that just flows quicker and is more narratively driven, which would better suit a show. Because you play, you know, most people see something like Critical Role or, you know, even Glass Cannon or something, and they get the feeling that it's just people playing D&D, but it's a very different experience we've learned to be performing D&D for a show as opposed to just playing it at home with friends. And we've been thinking that there's a way that you can make a system that reinforces that, makes it more enjoyable for the players, but also more enjoyable for the viewers, where certain aspects of D&D demand slowing down. We've only found 3 other European streamers / YouTubers worth watching. The rest are US and Canada. Yeah, I mean, that unfortunately makes sense. The OBS of D&D. Well, it's not even that, because OBS is, you know, fairly open. It's an open broadcast system. But it's more like a role-playing system designed specifically with the intent of being streamed or recorded in some way. just make it more focused on the characters, role-playing, things like that, and speeding up combat, because sometimes combat really bogs down and creates a slow-paced show. And if you're watching, generally I feel like you're living for the epic moments in a combat. You're living for the moment they kill the dragon, or do something totally crazy. That's one of the things people love about D&D, is when it's like, this is a completely bonkers move, but the dice say it works. Yeah, when the sniper shot kills me, Ma. That's right. And I'm just gonna shake my paint. It's been open for a while. You want those moments, and the unfortunate reality of D&D is that there's a lot of time spent where you go, all right, I roll, I make an attack, I miss, I make an attack, I do 3 damage, I make an attack, I do 7 damage, and you have to do a lot of work to make that interesting. So we're thinking about making a system that I guess is more cinematic, is what it comes down to. And we've been putting in the groundwork for it. We've been building that up. But kind of accelerating it because of all this OGL stuff that's come up. Because, yeah, nothing I'm seeing. You have a huge issue with the group you're DMing at the moment. They don't like roleplay. They're more into battle, and I just did so much to give it more RPG. And yeah, I know. So that's one of those things too, is like knowing your group. Some groups love role-playing. Like our group will go sessions without fighting combat at all, and we're just talking to like NPCs and doing character stuff. And then there's some groups that are really into sort of the tactical battle part of D&D, which is also completely a valid part of the game. But I feel like a lot of problems spawn when you not everyone agrees what kind of D&D game they should be playing. So, like you said, they're more into the combat, and they might like a dungeon crawl where you just go, alright, I'm pulling out, Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and we're gonna spend like months just doing a dungeon crawl. Whereas what you want to do is maybe something a little more roleplay heavy, but they're not investing in their characters the way you want them to as the DM, and you've built out a beautiful, cool world, and they're just not engaging with it. And that's always like one of the key frustrations I see. Make friends with all the enemies. You never get into super battling in D&D. You prefer to derail the DM's carefully crafted plans. Like, yeah. Like when I set up this is a home game I'm referencing here. That's why Alexis has stripped all the people we have been fighting of their souls and minds. Yeah, like just made them zombies, basically. Yeah. You just caught up with Venture Forth. I don't know if I've seen them. I'll have to check those out. Check Venture Forth out. Yeah. And these shows often, not always, some of them are more battle heavy. They often rely more on the role-playing elements. Shows like ours, shows like Critical Role, because that's more engaging for a viewer. And that's one of the things, like, especially if you're doing a show, I feel like, generally speaking, you shouldn't have a battle just to have a battle. There should be a point to having a fight. Like, if you're traveling on a road and it's just like, here's some goblins, go ahead and fight. Like, there's no stakes or emotion behind it. And you kind of go like, well, okay, but why are we doing this? Sorry, my throat's gotten a little dry. It's a peer podcast and they're all pro voice actors. That's cool. Yeah. And that's the thing also, is like, there's definitely tiers. There's shows like ours where it's, you know, us doing our best to make the best show we can, but we're not like trained actors like they are with Critical Role and things. And that really helps. You know, I've been trying to study acting stuff to make our show better. But it is, yeah. I'll freely admit that. We do our best, though. And mostly just want to make our own little space in the community. But yeah, like, if a battle doesn't have any substance behind it, it feels like, why are you doing this in a show? I get it in a game if you have players who just want to fight stuff, but it varies quite a bit. But that's sort of been our reaction to the OGL changes, is just going, well, maybe we'll design our own system that suits our needs specifically. Because it won't necessarily mean that our system's the best system ever. It just means it's a system designed specifically for what we're doing. So it'll be better at that specific thing. The air is very dry today, so my throat's been a little scratchy. Alright. So, I think getting through all these corner pieces, there's only 2 corners left. You just love good stories and players that want to play their character. Yes, that's what I like to do too. That's how I like to play D&D. It's all about the character, the interaction, things like that. And that's what I love about D&D, and what I loved about growing up with it, being able to make my own character however I want it to be, and explore a world as that character. So it's best to try and find a group that wants to do that as well, because I have been where you are, Obrogger, with the, like, I really want to play this way. Everyone else in the group wants to do fighting without really any, just to play the combat part of the game, which is fun. But I want there to be a reason for the fighting, because I feel like it can really elevate it quite a bit. So once I finish these 2 corners, the only pieces I need left are the wall floor bits. And see, it's almost noon. So, in my time, the DM's curse is they want to run the serious campaign and the players want to play Monty Python. That is often the case. Yes. But I feel like you really need that drama, especially if you're trying to do a show. That's what one of the things I think Critical Role does very well, is when it's time to be serious, they go very serious. Oh yeah, I think that's the best way to do a combat is if the players feel like they're not in danger, like, I feel like you need to tone it up a little bit, you know? Like, combat isn't something that should be taken lightly. In D&D. There should be the risk of death. And I never want to kill the player, but I want them to feel like they could be killed at any time. There's been a number of combats in our session where we all come out at like single-digit hit points and we're like, oh boy. That was way too close. And that's always like, it makes it feel like you've accomplished something, you know, as a player. Whereas if you're just like, well, I killed a bunch of goblins and they were not a challenge at all, you're just sort of like, yeah, it was fine. But we did get a free spear, yeah. Those were hobgoblins that threw the spear at me, not goblins. That was from one of our earlier episodes. We got ambushed. My druid had a spear thrown into her. So I turned to Nines and went, hey Nines! Free spear! And added a spear to my inventory. Yeah, you did heal me. That was nice of you. Last game there was 3 downed out of 4 players. Last man standing at 3 HP, and that was so fun. 1 healing potion, no spells. That's a very well balanced combat if they came out that close. That's an impressively well balanced combat. I'll give you kudos to that. I think Lexi should be more willing to knock us unconscious. Just turn up the difficult, like the danger level a little bit more so that we start getting knocked unconscious and forcing each other to, you know, we have well-balanced combat. It just turns out, yeah, you mess up the combat so much for Lexi. She complains about it later with your Tasha's hideous laughter. Your crowd controlling is very intense. I'm surprised she hasn't just started. Well, I guess she has thrown a golem at us recently. It is hard to balance when D&D, when a critical hit does somewhere between 6 and 45 damage. The thing is that the enemy's critical hit can also do between 6 and 45 damage, you know. The variation in swings are pretty wild. in D&D. So that can make it quite difficult, which is why a good DM is always impressively able to... They all had bad rolls. You had to not spawn the last 2 bugbears, otherwise they would have died. Yeah, see, and that's the thing. A good DM will make audible calls. Like, they'll make calls like, I'm not going to send in the last 2 bugbears. Or, you know, some DMs will, like, roll a critical hit, but make it a regular hit if they know it'll take out a player completely. Things like that. So you do a little... Sometimes you do a little behind the scenes decision making mid combat in order to keep the tension just right rather than just overrun them. I don't have an anti-arrow cloak. The last combat we were in, which I don't think has aired, is I got shot a few times. I just hide behind rocks a lot. That's my secret. If they can't see you, they can't shoot you. I play a druid, and so I play more of a support druid rather than a turn into a bear and attack things druid most of the time. Yeah, so I tend to stay behind cover when I can. Have a good dinner. Thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you again soon. I really liked your minis. I'll make sure we follow your Instagram after we're done here. What was I saying? And Ulseth gets hit a lot because he's out in the front fighting everything. He's our fighter, you know. He's out there getting smacked up. That's his job. So, once I get through, I have a series of walls left to do, which should go much quicker because they're not 2 walls. Once I get through those, I'm going to take a little break, and then we're going to do some details. Namely, door frames and fire runes are going to be our primary things that we're gonna work on. By fire runes, I mean these pieces. So the walls are all painted and ready to be washed, but we need to put in the rune itself that's on the wall. It's a rune I designed for, and we implemented in our 3D print, and I have 3 of those. Plus some door frames. So when I finish these detail bricks, we're gonna take a break. And then we'll be back with cool, fun, fiery details. There's also a big brazier I have to paint. But that's mostly just brass. Okay, so that's the last of the corner pieces. So all that's left is a pile of dungeon walls. It looks like we have 12. But these should be much quicker. About half the time. So we'll just go work away at it, get through it. Just choosing random tiles to paint. And I generally do between 2 and 5 bricks in any given tile, if it's a single wall. Generally 3 or 4, sometimes more, sometimes less. Like that, real simple. We've had a bunch of snow come in the last day and a half, and it's brought with it a lot of dry air and pressure. It has my nose all clogged up, so I apologize if I'm a little stuffed up today and a little scratchy throated. Need to break out the humidifier in the room, I think. Taking a minute to just sort of focus in on what I'm doing here. Trying to not make mistakes or messes I'll have to clean up later would be my ideal. The nice thing with these highlight bricks is they just add a ton of visual interest to the overall piece. We've done some dungeon tiles that are just straight up one color, like you would expect in an actual castle. And they just don't pop quite as much. These highlight bricks that just add a lot of visual pop to the overall design, which is why we do them. It's definitely more time consuming because you have to hand paint in all these little bricks, but I think it adds a lot as well. Oh, there's the blood pool right below me right now before it cycles through. In our little carousel. That's from our, and there's the first poison pool we did as a test. There's the purple for a second. I think they all just cycle through. That's one of the fire runes we're going to be working on. A little carousel of previous stuff. Quick touch up on one of the blocks I didn't like. Alright. Getting through them slowly but surely here. Almost through the cut stone style. We'll be doing the dungeon stone after that, and then we'll take our break and do details. Fun little details. It'll be a nice break from this more generic painting that I'm doing here. There we go. I put maybe a few more bricks on this one than I needed to, but you know, when you're just randomly choosing blocks, sometimes you go a little overboard. We're at 6 to go. We're in the final countdown. Through this series. I think I'm getting a coffee refresh. I'm going to be on break relatively soon, but thank you. I'm getting secret off-camera coffee. Thank you. All right, onto the rough cut stone here after I get a little coffee. Just keep that one very simple. Hi, Vivian. Welcome. How's it going? You're arriving right as we finish the last 4 before break. But we will be coming back and doing detail work like these runes after break, so make sure you stick around. We're almost through the last of these highlight bricks, though. This is what we've been working on all morning. Hi, everyone. Hey. Get the back side of this one now. Alright, last 3. Feel like I'm at the end stretch here. Take a little break, grab a bite to eat, stretch a little. Make sure I don't turn entirely into a shrimp. Just all hunched over. Oh, you want to flip? Okay. Here, I'll have a dungeon tile flip. There you go. Only because you showed up late and missed the first flip. Okay. Last two. Whew, home stretch. These dungeon stone ones are a little harder to paint because the surface is inconsistent. It has a lot of texture to it relative to the flat ones, and so I need to be slightly more careful with how quickly I apply the paint because it has a tendency to jump more over the uneven surface. Last tile before my break. And like I said, once break's over, we're going to be working on these sort of detail pieces. We're going to be putting the door frame color in, making them look a little more complete. So that's worth, I think, sticking around for. And if you've been watching this whole time, thanks for sticking with me. These episodes do get put up on YouTube as well, so feel free to check those out. If you want something, honestly, it's mostly just background noise, is what this show I feel like is good for. Just something to put on while you're working or doing something else. It's sort of the intent, at least. Don't think this is the most intensely gripping story happening here, but I think it can be a fun, relaxing background noise sort of thing. All right. Last block. Okay, so we are going to take a little break. Thank you for sticking with us so far. When we get back, I have these pieces plus this brazier that will all be detailed, and that will be my primary thing. If we get through that in relatively short order, we might be doing a little washing, depending on what time it is. So thanks for sticking around. I imagine the sigils will take their time to really paint through. So we'll be right back with more gooder, finishinger dungeon tiles, so stick around. Oh, okay, we are back. Thank you for waiting. Thanks for sticking around. So, while I was up using the restroom and taking a break, I was thinking we have a very busy schedule today, so I'm going to do a slightly shorter second half. I'm going to paint in these door frames. They're a wood door frame. And then I might end a little early so I can take care of some other stuff that's going on today. Oh no, I'm fine. It's just a very busy day. So, what I'm gonna do is save the runes for this Wednesday. That's my plan. I'm gonna be back Wednesday. We do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern to 2 p.m. Eastern is when we do these, and they also go up on YouTube, so you can always check us out there. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this brown color, and we're just gonna paint in this door frame. On our tile, which will make it look very nice. We'll just call it a little early today because there's just a lot going on. But I really appreciate everyone who's stuck around, who showed up and watched today. It was really nice having some nice people to chat with and just hang out with, relax with a little bit, you know. Part of the reason is we have, it ends up eating a big chunk of the day. We have a puppy school for our dogs in the evening. So a lot of the things we normally schedule get kind of messed around a little bit by that. So this brown gets painted on, and then we put a very nice wash on it. A smoky ink, I think it's called. It gives it a really rich tone. I actually have an example of this right here. This sort of very nice rich wood color. It's very pretty. But this is just the base coat, effectively. This takes a little finesse just because I don't want to make a mess and have to repaint things, ideally. Coming along here. We only have 4 sets of doors to do with these, so it's not too bad. I just need to be a little careful with my brushwork. You can see, even just getting a base coat on, how much it finishes the piece in terms of looks, and it'll look a lot better when it gets all washed up. Next week, on Wednesday probably, actually. Yeah. So, there. Door frame number 1. Got 3 more to do, and then we'll be done for the day. Yes, lots of gray blocks. We are digging through our dungeon towels. We have pretty much everything ready to be washed, and we're just working on some detailing now. We just have a couple pieces. We're getting wood frame in on the doorways, and then next week we're going to be doing runes and washing, hopefully. It is a lot of tiles, yes. A shockingly large amount of tiles. Be sure to mix the wash for a full minute. I'm not washing today, but I will. Wash tends to settle quite a bit, even compared to normal paint. The pigment tends to really settle, so you have to be studious with your washing, with your mixing in the washes. Similar with primer, actually. You really gotta mix it a long time to get it thoroughly consistent. How many doorways? We have 4 total that we're painting today. So, I'm on the last 2 here. And then obviously assembly will be another section of it. We have to assemble the doors. We do working doors, so they are hinged and open and close. Some dungeon sets will do doors that are just static or slide in and out. Our doors stay in all the time and they actively work, so you can open and close them in place. It's sort of a nice feature we do on ours. But it does take a little extra work. So, almost there. Wednesday, of course, we'll be doing our fire runes and brazier, and then a lot of washing. The plan. We also have a few more dungeon pieces and tiles that are to be primed. Hopefully we'll get those done tomorrow if we can get the time. so that they'll be available to paint. It's just sort of like the last odds and ends. I was planning to paint them, but, I don't have to. I can always save them. Okay, doorway number 3. And then finally, doorway number 4. This will be the last thing we paint today. Try and save a little time so I can take care of some other stuff. Clean our rabbit. Take the dogs to school. Work at my other thing. Yeah. That's what I was planning on, so I will stick to that plan. Our flame sigils are probably the most complicated part of all of the whole process. They require the most attention to detail, basically, because they're very, they're cool and kind of complex. I actually designed a bunch of all 4 elemental sigils, but we figured we would showcase the fire ones because, the fire is very showy compared to like an earth or even a water. Okay, so one last door upright. I don't know what you call them. What do you call, like, a section of a frame? One door frame piece left. Well, I know the whole thing is a frame, but does, like, the individual single side have a name? Or is it all just frame? It feels like it should have some, like, weird technical term associated with it. Like a stave or something, I frequent flyer, Mom. So, as we're wrapping up this last piece of frame, I want to remind you that we stream this show Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern is when we start. We go 3 to 4 hours, typically speaking. So make sure to check us out. We also put these episodes up on YouTube. Our D&D show that we use tiles just like these in our is 2 p.m. Eastern on Sundays is when we air our episodes. We just had one the other day. And you can always check those out on YouTube. later on. We also have them on podcast form. We're going to be working on these pieces on Wednesday. And then washing this huge pile of tile that you can see we've been building up towards. So, thank you so much for watching today. I know we're ending early. I'm just going to try and take care of some other stuff today. And we'll see you all Wednesday. I appreciate everyone who dropped by, and the raid was really great. If you haven't yet, I think everyone on who normally watches our channel has gone over and followed Dr. Pumpkins. They're really great and do all sorts of fun stuff, so check out their channel. And our new friend Old Brogger also stopped by. They do stuff on stream and YouTube as well, so feel free to check those people all out. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna end, so thank you so much, everyone. See you Wednesday.